you have both collaborated on many projects throughout through your company IKON Media, correct?
Well, so she's the brain trust behind the film portion of Icon.
Okay.
Yeah, so Sosiessia is our head writer and like as we'd say in our head cook and bottle washer, so to speak. She's very talented at this. So a quick backstory as to how this all really came to be. Your Days Tomorrow is really the first film that no, I lie. Going even further back, we did a short um,
Protection.
called Protection. No, even further back. Oh my gosh. So so here's a real quick story, right?
Hmm.
So I had bought a new camera and wanted something to test to do a specs shoot, and I hit Sosiessia up and I was like, hey. At the time, she wasn't like officially a part of Icon. And I
Hmm.
hit her up and was like, hey, I want a script to just test this camera gear out. So she wrote the script for me in like 10 minutes and sent it over. And we shot this in New Jersey, um, pulled together a crew that I've never worked with before. I was like, you know what? Let's be adventurous. So with the script, it was a very, very detailed script. It took us 18 hours to shoot, put it together. You know, obviously there were some things that weren't so great about it because, like, shooting with a crew you've never worked with for the first time, actors you've never worked with. But that really started the relationship and saying, wow, like, Sosiessia is so talented. So, shooting that script in New Jersey, then other ideas came up. We got a new camera in Jamaica, and again wanted something to a spec script to shoot. So Sosiesia wrote again and knocked it out of the park. Shot that one another, you know, was a day shoot. Put together a 7 minute short film, and then we're like, all right, our chemistry is great, working together, you know. Um, and then we started working on Your Days Tomorrow. So Sosiesia wrote that, directed, casted. She assistant directed, acted in it, casted, line produced, you know, head cook and buckle washer. So it really, that's where our chemistry really, really developed. You know, I was here, I was traveling, she was on the ground shooting with the crew shooting there. I got a chance to go down to be on set for a couple of days as well. And like, you know, our passion for film and our love for film really just grew, and we realized how much chemistry we had. So my co-founder Wentworth and I really sat down and was like, all right, you know, this is something we've always wanted to do. Film. When we first started out our company in 2011, we always had a mindset of doing film. So long story short, you know, Sosiesia is like a godsend because she's really helped us propel and tell like unique stories, not just the everyday cliche story that comes out of Jamaica. Not to knock that, but we've seen that for so long. It's like, you know, always a crime and violent type of stories that have come out, but no, we're telling different types of stories who using actors and actresses who are not mainstream, so to speak, and kind of cultivating our own following and talent. So that's really where our superpowers kind of combine. And it's just been a great journey. And now, like, Sosiesia is an award-winning writer, director, producer. You know,
Yep.
it's kind of fulfilling to get to that point. Sorry, I know I like deviated from your question, but I had to
No,
give
that
her
was
flowers as well.
great. Because I like those experiences when you can't even remember when it started.
Yeah,
You just know the match was just made, and you're just like, this is just the vibe that we're on now.
yeah,
You really have to track back for that one.
yeah,
Um, so it seems like you really do trust her stories. Like as you said, it's not the typical what everybody's used to
yeah,
seeing. Especially with this one, I know it may not have been intentional to be connected so much to mental health, but I do think it is an eye opener because especially in Jamaican culture, like I
oh
don't know
yeah,
about you, but I don't talk to my parents about mental health.
no,
Like that's just not
Yeah.
something we discuss within our families and within our households. So, Horane, for you, why was it so important for you to work on this film with her?
No, absolutely. So that's a great point. For me, growing up, like we never talked about feelings. We never talked about, you know, what's really bothering you. It's just like, all right, cool, pray about it. Like for those who come from religious backgrounds, like, but that's not the end all be all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it really also stood out for me because personally, I started going to therapy last year, just because it's like, yo, you got to take care of your mental health.
Mm-hmm.
So it really resonated for me. It's like a lot of times people just medicate, and not actually try to work on their, you know, seek professional help. And that's something that's really, really prevalent in our society and our culture still. So you know, working on this film for me really was just coming from a place of myself, as well as like, I'm pouring a piece of me into this because listen, I've been in situations where it's like, yo, okay, I'm just gonna play it off and not really focus on what really is going on. So for me, again, like I like to work on things that I'm passionate about, and things that really are, I guess, social change and social drivers, so to speak. So when you combine the two, it's like, okay, I can be creative, but at the same time, be a social agent for change. You know, that's really what fuels my energy to do stuff like this.